Welcome one, welcome all. Now give me an amen and a hallelujah. Say it feels good. Hallelujah. It's time for liftoff.
10, 9,
Let's
8,
go.
7, 6,
5, 4.
3, 2,
Come on.
1, 0. Ignition.
Come on, slowpoke.
Liftoff.
You remember we looked at that word last week?
30 minutes after the hour.
Somebody who's really slow at doing things. A slowpoke. And we looked at to poke fun at.
Strap on your seatbelt.
To poke fun at. Meterse con.
Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life.
Oh, yeah.
The show with no name time.
On Vaughn Radio.
Let's go.
Welcome, show with no namers from all around the world. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here with us on the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Thank you for joining us today and every day. Not just here on the show with no name, but on our many programs. The Probo Show with Rob Grams. What a way to start your day. You've got No Excuses with Fitz. Richard Vaughn Live. The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. You'll not only learn English, but tips and tricks to bring out the best version of yourself. You've got Kyle Miller and the Drive Time Show. You've got Frankly Speaking with Chris Frank. The Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. The Salad with Dave Boyes. Every program I just mentioned is unique in its own way. As unique as the teacher / presenter who does the show. So listen to all of our programs here on Vaughn Radio. If you don't have the app, you can download it for free. Just go to your app store on your smartphone and search for Vaughn Radio. Or you can listen wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, iVoox, Spotify, etc.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right. If you want to find out more about our masters, our Vaughn Town, our weekend camps, or any of our amazing materials, make sure you're following us on social media. And let's see what material we're going to look at in today's Pop Quiz.
Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah.
Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yes. Pop quiz. Yeah, welcome to our pop quiz. Just some quick information before we get started. Folks, mark your calendars. It's official. Oh, the only thing is, let me check the stand. I didn't write the stand down. We are going to be at Feria del Libro, my amigos. That's right. It's time once again for our Feria del Libro. Let me check over here. Oh, here it is. I've got it in my emails. Write this down. This is important information. Vaughn. So that means me. That means everybody I work with who's going to be attending. We will be hanging out at stand 309. 309. This is at Feria del Libro Madrid 2025. As always, it is held, celebrado, convocado. It is held, viene del verbo hold. It is held every year at the same place, which makes things easy. And it's a lovely place to spend an afternoon or a morning. I'm talking about the Retiro Park in Madrid. So join us. You can check out when all your favorite teachers are going to be there, but I will be there at stand 309. Voy a apuntarlo. 309, porque si no, in my calendar, I just looked at that in my email. Stand 309, and I will be there May 31st. This is a Saturday, May 31st, the last day of May. And it'll be the first weekend of the book fair. So that's the weekend it starts. And I will be there from 11 to 1. 11 to 1 that morning at stand 309. That's the same day for those of you who love football, soccer as we call it in my country. That's the same day as the Champions League final. So if you're watching that, it's a good plan. Come to the book fair in the morning, get some culture, get some sun, meet your favorite authors / teachers / presenters, and then, well, go get some lunch, a nice lunch, and get ready for some football. I don't know if I'm going to watch the game. I might. Depends. Usually at 10 o'clock, I think you guys know me very well. At 10 p.m., I am sound asleep. So unless it's Real Madrid, which is not the case, I don't know if I'm watching it. But I will be at the book fair, stand 309, May 31st, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also mark your calendars the following week. Just a couple days later, you get a double dose of double A, and that is Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. That is June 3rd. June 3rd, and that's going to be at the Toast Tap Room. So I look forward to seeing all of you, some of you, one or two of you, at the book fair and also at the upcoming trivia night. All right, amigos. Now, in today's pop quiz, we're going to be taking a look at the backbone of the Vaughn method. This is our translation booklet pocket. It is really worth its weight in gold. If anything is worth its weight in gold, this book that you can fit in your pocket, it's got to be a big pocket, has thousands. When I say thousands, I mean 6,000 different translations, and it is incredible. It comes with hours of downloadable audio, and you've got every structure you need to know, all the vocabulary, everything you need to know here in the translation booklet. So let's give it a listen. And as always, I'm going to put you to the test afterwards. So everybody listen up. This is an excerpt from Translation Booklet Pocket, La Pieza Clave del Método Vaughan.
Translation List 10.
¿Por qué me estás haciendo tantas preguntas?
Why are you asking me so many questions?
Ella es la que lleva una blusa.
She's the one who's wearing a blouse.
Está empezando a llover.
It's starting to rain.
Estoy sentado en el suelo.
I'm sitting on the floor.
Alguien está durmiendo en mi cama.
Somebody's sleeping in my bed.
¿Estás leyéndolo?
Are you reading it?
¿Por qué no estás trabajando?
Why aren't you working?
Estoy secando la vajilla.
I'm drying the dishes.
¿Qué haces?
What are you doing?
¿Por qué no estás haciendo nada?
Why aren't you doing anything?
Están corriendo más rápido que yo.
They're running faster than I am.
Me están trayendo regalos.
They're bringing me presents.
Estamos cerrando la tienda.
We're closing the store.
Él está hablando con un acento.
He's speaking with an accent.
Estoy intentando dormir.
I'm trying to sleep.
Están intentando parar el coche.
They're trying to stop the car.
Estamos dándoles algunos problemas.
We're giving them some problems.
Estoy poniéndolo en tus manos.
I'm putting it in your hands.
Estoy levantándome más tarde que antes.
I'm getting up later than before.
Estás bebiendo demasiado.
You're drinking too much.
¿Quién está llevando las maletas?
Who's carrying the suitcases?
¿Con quién estás trabajando ahora?
Who are you working with now?
¿Por qué estás haciéndome esto?
Why are you doing this to me?
Estoy empezando a enfadarme.
I'm starting to get angry.
Estoy haciendo una lista muy larga.
I'm making a very long list. Translation list 26.
¿Cuánto ahorra tu amigo?
How much does your friend save?
Ahorra el 25% de su sueldo.
He saves 25% of his salary.
¿Qué hace con el dinero?
What does he do with the money?
Lo usa para comprar regalos.
He uses it to buy presents.
¿Para quién compra regalos?
Who does he buy presents for?
Para todo el mundo, excepto para ti.
For everyone except you.
¿Por qué no me regala nada?
Why doesn't he give me anything?
Porque haces demasiadas preguntas.
Because you ask too many questions.
¿Qué quieres?
What do you want?
¿Cuándo vas a pagarlo?
When are you going to pay for it?
¿Dónde lo vas a guardar?
Where are you going to keep it?
¿Cuándo se lo vas a dar a ella?
When are you going to give it to her?
¿Por qué quieres darle un anillo?
Why do you want to give her a ring?
¿Sabe que quieres casarte con ella?
Does she know you want to marry her?
¿Cuántos años tiene ella?
How old is she?
¿No es un poco joven?
Isn't she a little young?
Espero que sepas lo que haces.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Me gusta ayudar a la gente.
I like to help people.
Tienes que hacer un esfuerzo.
You have to make an effort.
¿Por qué tienen que venir aquí?
Why do they have to come here?
El espectáculo va a durar 1 hora.
The show's going to last an hour.
Le gusta gritar a la gente.
He likes to shout at people.
¿Es esto lo único que tienes?
Is this the only thing you have?
Él sabe más de lo que tú crees.
He knows more than you think.
Nadie sabe más que yo.
Nobody knows more than I do.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés.
Weekend Town, don't miss it. One of our latest, greatest initiatives. If you want an immersive experience, well, Weekend Town was tailor-made for you. Hecho a medida. To all of you people like myself who can't just disappear for a week, well, the weekend, everybody can get a weekend. It's called Weekend Town, and you can find out more information about it over at grupovon.com. All right, now let's see a couple things. This week's question of the week, sponsored by your amiga who she sent me a couple questions, so I'm using some of the ones she sent me. And this is your classmate, Chris Valrol, who this week she wants to know, well, we want to know, juntos, yeah, the farthest place you've been from home. Okay, tell us about it. Now, I've got to say something. A nice round of applause for Alfonso. He's done. He did it this weekend. So thank you, Alfonso, for wow, really rising above there and getting it out of the way, quitándolo de medio. If you want to practice your speaking every day, you can do it. Well, every day, no. Well, you should. You should every day. But I give you the opportunity every week to practice your speaking. And again, I can help you. I can correct you. I can guide you. I can tell you, esto suena más formal. Esto es más informal. You know, these kind of things that I would like to know if I'm making a mistake or if I'm saying something in Spanish, for example. So if you'd like to participate this week, what is the farthest place you've been from home? And what's the difference between farthest and furthest? Yeah, uno tiene una U, otro una A. Okay, all right, I know that part. Further is really like, it's more like figurative. So farther, kilómetros. Further, pues más allá en la vida, más lejos, right? Now, I have to say something. Most native speakers use them interchangeably. Okay, but if you want to nitpick, como decimos, right? If you want to split hairs, buscarle tres patas al gato, farthest, kilometers. Furthest, more in the poetic, as I said, more of the figurative sense of the word. See these little things that, well, if you don't know them, again, it's no big deal if you say that what's the furthest, the farthest, no one's going to be like, what? Did she say furthest and she meant farthest? I doubt anyone will even realize, to be honest. So if you'd like to participate, send me a 1-minute voice message, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Don't go any more because if you do, then I can't guarantee it's going to go on the air. Okay. Because what I can't do is every week edit, ones that are 2 minutes. I won't do it anymore. So now what'll happen is if you're not at around a minute, and I need to get rid of some, quitar algunos de medio por tiempo, which happens a lot, yours will be the first to be gone. Okay? Because simple rule, a minute, you can do a minute 15, minute 20. But once you go into 2 minutes, are you really summarizing and being concise? Or are you telling me stories? I don't want stories. I want you to tell me, obviously, always introduce yourself. It's a good thing to practice. Hey, it's ta-ta-ta. Good morning, everybody. Hello, whatever you would say, that's where your personality comes out. And then also with your answer, and the most important part of every question of the week, the why, el por qué. And last week, we couldn't get to our amigo Paco. And Paco, I wonder why yours Yours is about a minute 30, minute 25. So again, we're going closer to 2. I'm gonna beg you. Voy a rogar. No, I'm gonna challenge you because I already begged and it didn't work. So I'm gonna challenge you. I bet you can't keep it at a minute. I bet it's impossible. Ooh. Ahora sí que lo va a hacer. Yeah, I just challenged him. It's the equivalent of in Spanish, no hay huevos de hacerlo en menos de un minuto. Sorry for the no hay huevos, but that's what you guys say. I'm just a parrot repeating what I hear. But I know if you want to get anybody to do anything in this country, be like, are there eggs? And we don't call them eggs. By the way, we say nuts, we say balls, but we don't call them eggs. All right, amigos. So participate in the question of the week. Also, let's hear Paco. This is Paco from last week's question of the week, telling us how his parents met.
Hi there, it's Paco from Cádiz. Regarding the question of the week, Alberto, how my folks met, they have always shrouded this topic in secrecy. They have always kept it under wraps. The only thing that I really know is that it was love at first glance, because from the word go, my father had a soft spot for my mom. Over the course of the years, it was proof that they were as thick as thieves. He started working in a department store at the tender age of 14, and they were only just acquaintances. But there was a kind of matchmaker who roped them into a relationship. At tender age of 20 years old, they tied the knot. They had a good relationship for over 50 years. Unfortunately, my father passed away last year, and my mom had to bear the brunt of her loss. I'm trying to keep her chin up and try to encourage her that life goes on. Thank you very much and have a lovely weekend.
All right, Paco. Great. He said you can say love at first sight or love at first glance, as he said. He also said that his father had a soft spot for his mother. Que le tenía cariño, to have a soft spot for somebody. Be careful with the pronunciation of folks. Shrouded, que es tapado en, right? It's shrouded in mystery. Careful, Paco, you put an E before it. You said es shroud, right? So shrouded in mystery. I always think of the Shroud of Turin, you know, the shroud of Jesus Christ in Turin, Italy, right? That's another way to say shroud. De hecho, ¿cómo se dice shroud? Vamos a mirarlo ya que estamos. Shrouded in secrecy. Es mortaja, sudario, velo, pero es tapado, right? Envuelto in. So shrouded in secrecy. Just be careful, too, of how you pronounce the word acquaintances. Conocidos. Acquaintances. And great, too, you use the word Celestino or Celestina, which in English is matchmaker. So great job, Paco. Now we just got to take 20 seconds off it. Because that's part of the challenge too, right? The same thing if you have an exam. If you have an exam and they tell you the exam lasts 3 hours, that means at 3 hours and 10 minutes, if you're still taking the exam, you're not, right? They're going to so that's part of the exercise is keeping it at a minute. So I challenge you to keep it at a minute. And Paco, I know Paco's way. He wants to drop all these totally natives. But you got to be careful, too, because if you say, it was shrouded in mystery, it was always a secret, you just said the same thing twice. So choose one. In that case, you don't have to say, like, re-say it. Yo lo hago aquí, claro, porque te estoy diciendo otra forma de decirlo. Pero in a normal conversation, you wouldn't say the same thing 2 or 3 ways. You would say it one way and move on to the next thing. All right. So just some tips, but wonderful job. I urge you all to participate in this coming week's question of the week. Also, let me give you your pop quiz questions. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a little excerpt from translation booklet. It is, I think, again, one of the most important materials Richard Vaughn has ever created, and you can get it for around $20 with audio, 6,000 translations. So here we go. This is what I want from you. Él no tiene tanto dinero como Jeff Bezos. You say Bezos, the guy from Amazon. Bueno, puedes poner Elon Musk, pon el que quieras, okay? Pon Richard Vaughan if you want. Él no tiene tanto dinero como Richard Vaughn. Número 2, ella no tiene tantos yates como Elon Musk o Jeff Bezos, o alguien rico, okay? So the first one, él no tiene tanto dinero como Jeff Bezos. Number 2, ella no tiene tantos yates como Jeff Bezos. Y la última, quiero que uses cuánto dura y cuánto se tarda en hacer tal cosa. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of today's show, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with No Name. Here we are on Vaughn Radio, having lots of fun, learning, laughing, and playing together. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you came ready to rock. Well, you know what? You always do. As we say in English, you always bring your A game. Siempre venís listo para todo, para la final, right? Well, folks, in this part of the show, we'll take a look at your pop quiz answers. Let me give them to you again, because technically there are 4 things, because the last one's 2. So the first one, él no tiene tanto dinero como Jeff Bezos. Ella no tiene tantos yates como Jeff Bezos, que es número 2. And the last one, I want you to use it in your own context. ¿Cuánto dura lo que sea? ¿Y cuánto se tarda en hacer lo que sea? I want you to use those 2 questions, or you can use them in the affirmative. Esta clase dura tanto tiempo, yo tardo tanto en hacer lo que sea. What I want to see is if you know how to use those structures in English. Él no tiene tanto dinero como Jeff Bezos. Ella no tiene tantos yates como Jeff Bezos. And the last one, I want you to use durar versus tardar. All right, amigos, let's keep moving with today's Say What soundbite. Come on,
Say what?
Come on, come on. All right, folks. This is one of my favorite people to have ever walked the planet. Now, I never met the person, but he seems like the kind of guy I would love to have a beer with. Ah, man, huge fan of today's Say What soundbite. So, A, not as important, but I'm curious. If you know who it is, you don't have to tell me who it is. You can say yay or nay. And then, more importantly, you have 2 jobs. Your first job, what did you just hear? Tell me. Report back to me. Tell me, Alberto, acaba de contar un hombre esto que el otro que el otro. Y sonaba como si estuviera nervioso. Whatever. Okay? There's no wrong part. I mean, you can make a mistake grammatically speaking, but there's no wrong. It's your opinion. You could be off, un poco de ese, but it doesn't matter. The idea is you're sharing your opinion in English. And after the 3rd or 4th listen, depending. Hopefully, somebody will be able to jot it down word for word. All right, is everybody ready? I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite now for the first time.
You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz?
All right, there you go. There you go, folks. That voice, unmistakable, inimitable, as we say, inimitable. ¿Se dice así en español? Inimitable in English. Unique, one of a kind. Si quieres más formas de decir único, one of a kind, unique. Oh, man. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give it to you a second time, and then we can discuss it. And hopefully somebody will be able to figure it out before the end of today's show. Here's your Say What soundbite for the second time.
You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz?
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola de 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit.
That's right. This book is the shit. My latest book. It's available at Von Tienda along with many other amazing materials, such as our translation booklet, which we're going to be taking a look at momentarily when we check in with our students here in our virtual chat room. Remember, I urge you all, whether you're listening live, whether you're listening to this 10 years from now, doesn't matter. Whenever I give you some vocabulary or we look at a structure, please, for your own good, say it aloud. And then this becomes not just a listening exercise, but a speaking exercise. But again, I can't do it for you. You've got to do that part on your own. I can just remind you, oye, di esto, dilo en voz alta, dilo otra vez, right? Especially in our homophones when we look at little nuances. You know, anytime I highlight the pronunciation of something, that's your cue, tu pie, para decir, me toca. I've got to repeat it now. Okay, and that's how it works. That's how you'll keep learning new things every day, and not just what they sound like, but how to say them as well, or not just how they're written, which we all know that's the least important thing. Oh yeah, you need to know how to read and write, but if you can't speak, what good is reading and writing? See what I mean? So it's the first way you get things done is with your mouth, and we all know that a lot of communication is nonverbal. Body language, when someone's crossing their arms, it says a lot, right? Tone of voice, gestures, facial expressions, all of that adds to the final product, right? To your message that you're trying to get across. To get across, transmitir. Very important phrasal verb. Do you get your ideas across in English? I hope you do. Y eso es comunicar algo claramente. All right, let's see who's with us in the house, ready to rock, ready to learn some English and laugh and have some fun. There's Born to Iron Man. He says, morning, folks. Morning to you, Born to Iron Man. Great to have you with us. Another exciting day ahead. There's Chris Valrol. She says, morning, lively show with no-namers. Lively, con mucha vidilla. That's a great word to describe our show with no-namers. Great to have you both with us. Let's see. I just shared the link. If you'd like to pick up a copy of this awesome translation booklet, you can pick it up over here by clicking on the link, or just Google translation booklet Vaughan, and it'll bring you right to Von Tienda, or you can get it at Amazon, Casa del Libro, all of these places as well. But I highly recommend it to master the language. All right, let's see. Speaking of masters, we got Born to Iron Man, our spelling bee master, and he's taking a stab at today's pop quiz. Let's see. He says he doesn't have as much money as Alberto Alonso. Well, that's not saying much. Do you guys think I'm rich? Thanks, I guess. Maybe it's because I'm such a snazzy dresser. No, I'm joking. Snazzy, que me visto tan elegante. Que no. No, Born to Iron Man. I think I'm more on the poor end of the scale. If you look at, numbers, you crunch some numbers. Well, but thank you for making me look like a rich man. So he doesn't have as much money as Alberto Alonso. So yes, the structure is as much, incontable as. Apúntalo. So other examples, I don't have as much patience as he does, or as him. Se puede decir as Alberto does, or as him, right? So I don't have as many friends. O sea, muy fácil. As much, incontable as. Lo que hay en común empieza con as y acaba con as. As much air as much water as. Incontable siempre. Okay? And as many, ya es contable. I don't have as many friends. I don't have as many secrets as. Y otra vez, lo bueno, el as y el as empiezan y terminan esta estructura. Igual que tan alto como. O sea, eso es otro. O sea, tenemos tres con el as aquí. So we have, I don't have as much time as him, incontables. I don't have as many friends as him, contables. I'm not as tall as him, no soy tan alto, adjetivos. Okay? Just be careful, I'm not so tall as, no. Because si quieres decir tan alto, es tan alto. He's so tall. Pero ya tan alto como, ya no es so tall. It's as tall as. See? Y no se toca, no es as taller as, or as taller than, que he oído mezclas con el, with the comparative and the superlative too. But they're different comparisons. So, as los tres tienen algo en común. Empiezan con as, acaban con as. El primero, incontables, sustantivos. Segundo, contables, plurales. And the last one is adjectives. All right? And not the comparative. I mean the adjective. As fat as tall as rich as. All right, so I wanted to clear that up because people mix them up all the time, but not born to Iron Man. Let's take a look at number 2. She doesn't have as many yachts as the Sheikh from the United Arab Emirates. Absolutely, as many para contables. Yates se pueden contar. Right? Dinero también, pero se supone que es incontable porque lo que contamos es las monedas, los billetes. So I don't have as many coins, as many bills, pero si hablamos de dinero en general es as much as, okay? Lo mismo, vas a una tienda, no dices, how many is this? No, how much is this? ¿Cuánto es esto? So, yes, the United Arab Emirates. Did you guys hear? You guys know me, I'm a theme park nerd. They're opening a Disney in Abu Dhabi. Like, that's crazy. It'll be the 7th Disney park, and they're opening it not tomorrow. It takes a long time to open a park like that. But did you guys see the news? Well, if you're not in those circles, you didn't. But that's pretty crazy. Abu Dhabi Disney. No thanks. I mean, no offense. I like Disney and stuff, but I don't want to go to a desert. I don't know. I'd rather go to Tokyo Disney Sea. You know, I'd rather go to Tokyo or even France, believe it or not. So that's weird news. And another crazy thing about that Disney UAE news, which you reminded me of it, is that Disney doesn't normally like open with other parks around it. Like Disney likes to be like, we are Disney and all the other parks are all the other parks. And supposedly this Disney park is going to be built on a complex full of parks. They're competition. So it's just, when you hear it, you're like, here's the real question. How big was that check? ¿Cuán grande era ese talón que le hicieron de los Emiratos? Jeez Louise. All right, great job so far. Born to Iron Man. The next one. How long does the show with no name last? Yes. ¿Cuánto dura? Lo que es chungo aquí es en tercera persona. It lasts. Y lo que recomiendo aquí es que perdemos la T un poco. No es tan importante. Right? It's not lasts. It's lasts. ¿Ves? Porque ahí la S es más importante que la T. Entonces te comes un poco la T para hacer sitio para que acabe con el sonido S. Okay? So this class lasts. Pero como no vas a hacer tss, pues suavizas la T. This class lasts 20 minutes. Por darte un número. The last class lasted, porque es un verbo regular. The last class lasted 2 hours. Okay? So la pregunta, how long? Para preguntas de tiempo, de duración, cuando hay una cifra, como respuesta, how long? Any Chili Pepper fans? How long will I slide? I'll separate my side. I don't. So how long does it last? Great job. And the last one, it takes me less than a minute to tune into, te falta el two ahí, to tune into the show. Great job. Born to Iron Man. Now, I know what you're thinking, but these are really tough structures. You do not know how many times I've heard people say as much than, or as many than, or you know, as taller as. So these or confundir el last con el take, right? So that's why I wanted to point these out. These are very confusing structures, and I want to make sure you don't get mixed up with them. All right, let's see. Chris Valro's got something to say in today's pop quiz. She says, he doesn't have as much money as JB. Very good. The next one, she doesn't have as many yachts as JB. Perfect. The next one, the Irishman lasts more than 3 hours. Excellent. It does. The Irishman, the movie, hay una película, lasts more than 3 hours. Casino, too. But Casino's better. IMO, in my opinion, of course. And let's see. Chris says, how long does the audio on question of the week have to be? She says, sometimes it takes me a while to record it. So how long does it have to be? ¿Cuánto tiene que durar? Also remember, how long does it take? Pero eso más con actividades, right? Con cosas que llevamos a cabo, things we carry out. It takes 20 minutes to make an omelet. It takes 40 minutes to wash the clothes, whatever, right? And the question, how long does it take to lo que sea? Ya pones el verbo que te da la gana. En pasado, pues cambiamos el does por el did. How long did it take you to finish school? Y ahí, mira, esta. How long does it take to get a college education? It takes around 4 years. Ahora, eso es en general. How long did it take you? ¿Ves? Ahí ponemos el cuando queremos personalizarlo. It took me 4 years to get my degree. All right? So great job. Let's see. German says, morning, guys. Another shroudless morning for me. I love it. German's always ready to rock and roll, always ready to play and have some fun with us. Great to have you with us, German. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol has got something to say about today's Say What soundbite. Again, one of my favorite celebrities, icons ever. And I've definitely talked about this guy on the show before. Let's see what Chris heard. She says, I heard a stand-up comedian talking about a funny situation. You're alone, talking to yourself. Someone appears, and you want to make them believe that you were singing. I didn't get the final pun. Well, it's not really a pun, right? It's not a pun at the end. No es un juego de palabras tanto como la letra de la canción sería absurda si fuera una canción, right? So basically what the guy's saying, he's like, what does she think? I'm some kind of idiot? Y alguien entra en la habitación, what does she think? I'm some kind of idiot. Like the lyrics wouldn't make sense in a normal song if you're like talking to yourself, is what he's saying, okay? So you're hoping somebody really believes those are the lyrics to a song. All right, but great job, Chris. Good ear. All right, and Chris says a pun, so to speak. Yeah, but I'm trying to find the pun here, like the play on words, and I don't see a play on words here though. No veo el doble significado ni nada. Well, there's a word there at the end that's not pun, if that's what you mean. Maybe that's what you mean. Okay, so basically, yeah. Let's say I'm, walking around my house and I'm like, this motherfucker, does he really think I'm an idiot? Y entra alguien and I'm like, this motherfucker, does he really think I'm an idiot? This motherfucker, right? Again, it would not be, what's, I think you're going to attract more attention with the lyrics to the song than anything. So good luck. That last word, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong here, but that last word is a really, really tough one over there. Do you want me to tell you the last word? I don't know if you guys want me to tell you. I don't think we've looked at it too much. Or do you want to take a stab at it? All right. Well, I'll tell you what. You guys can tell me in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to give you today's homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And Chris says, I meant the funny conclusion. Okay. You know what you meant then? Creo. The punchline, la parte graciosa del chiste, ¿no? The punchline es lo que querías decir. So yeah, the punchline, the end of the joke is definitely, well, usually in most jokes, the punchline. All right. Well, here we go, folks. Your words in today's homophones. A, I want to know if you know the words. B, I want to know if you know how they sound. So A, the first one is a relative or a family member. Pariente, familiar. Okay. Emparentado. Okay. Parecido. We'll take a look at it in context a little bit later. All right. So the word is relative, family member, related, right? It has to do with that idea. And in Spanish, it says pariente, familiar, emparentado, parecido a, similar a. Okay? That's your first word. And the second word is poder. Puedo tocar el piano. Okay? Puedo, right? Puedo, o sea, the auxiliary, we all know the verb here, right? Okay. Querer es poder, that we don't say with el verbo querer in English. We say, where there's a will, termínalo tú. Where there's a will, there's a way. Donde hay voluntad, hay un camino. So the first word, pariente, familiar. Si yo digo, mi pariente puede tocar el piano, do those two words sound the same or not? We'll take a look at that and much more after this quick commercial break, amigos. We are halfway through the show, but we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3, the second half of today's show here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to tune in to Jimena Holiday's program, Test Your English. It is right after this show. And what a wonderful way to learn English with Jimena Holiday. She's also responsible for many of the materials that you can find in the Vaughn Tienda. You can stop by Vaughn Tienda at vaughntienda.com. If you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, stop by. Pásate. Introduce yourself. Preséntate. We'd love to meet you. You can check just by going to Google Maps, Vaughan, Bilbao, and it'll give you the exact address. You can get a free level test. Why not? I would if I were you. You guys are putting in a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of energy. You want to make sure it's all for naught, that it's not all for naught, I should say. That it's not in vain, that you really are making that progress. I mean, I know you are, but I don't give everybody a level test every day. There are many of you. As many of you know, the majority of our listeners listen via podcast. So a shout out to all our podcast listeners. Thank you, thank you, thank you. for making the Show with No Name one of the most popular English learning podcasts out there. All right, amigos, let me give you the Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you now for the third time, and hopefully we'll get a little bit closer to figuring it out. Here you go, folks, the Say What soundbite for the third time.
You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz?
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant!
Absolutely brilliant. It's the Oxford Test of English, and you can do it through Vaughan now. More information, check it out on our social media. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of people participating in our homophones section. Born to Iron Man gives us the correct words, and he says they don't sound alike. Let's see. German says they are not homophones unless you pronounce hetum really fast. Okay, hetum, 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 hetum. Doesn't sound like either one, German. Okay. Chris says, is giving us an example of the two of them, and she says, I'd say they're not homophones. So German's having some doubts, though. Okay, he says, unless you pronounce them really fast. Oh, them, not hit them. Hit them, hit them. Okay, them, the words. Gotcha. Unless you, well, which one? You mean if I pronounce the first one fast, it sounds like the second one? You got to be a little more specific there because you're onto something. You're onto something. Ahí tienes algo, but I'm not sure if you hit it on the head yet. But you are onto something, German. Okay. Okay, so let's say the two words as we always do. The first word is kin. Kin, right? They are my kin, my family, my parientes, as you say, my relatives is another way to say it, kin. Okay, so that I is not really kin. It's not kin. It doesn't sound like keen, que es otra palabra, K-E-E-N, right? Kin. So all of April's kin came to her funeral. Todos sus parientes familiares. De hecho, como has visto, no lleva ese. Okay, it's one of those words that doesn't get an S. Mark is a naturalist. He's an expert in dragonflies and their kin. Let's see it as a verb here. That cup is kin to the others. Parecido, similar. Okay, and the second word is can, right? Can and can't, right? So they don't sound the same, right? Can you go to my house tomorrow? Yeah, I can go to your house tomorrow if you need me to. So they're not homophones, I guess, right? Well, they can be, as German said, but it's not so much about how fast you say it. And the one in question is the word can, the C-A-N one. Why? Well, when it's not an important word in the sentence, we pronounce it like kin, K-I-N, exactly like that. So ask me if I can, fíjate cómo lo digo en la pregunta, porque ahí no es importante en la pregunta. Ask me if I can, did I say I can or kin? I said kin. Ask me if I can, y lo estoy diciendo natural, nunca cambio, right? Ask me if I can speak Spanish. Ahora, can you speak Spanish? Or can you? Ahí diría can, right? Can you? Y ahora, si yo te contesto, I can speak Spanish. I can't, el can't ya no. I can't speak Chinese. So, cuando usamos can en una frase, y no es la parte importante, como de hecho sí que puedo. Entonces ahí sí que pones énfasis. Yes, I can play the piano. It means you were doubting me. You thought I couldn't. And I said, yes, I can. Si no es ese caso, es I can play the piano. Hazme una lista. What can you do? What can you do? So they are and they aren't homophones. Depends. So it's not so much, German, how fast you say it, but if that can is an important part of the sentence, or it's se hace tal cosa. Cuando el tal cosa es importante, el can no es importante. Solo cuando es can't. So again, let me give an example with languages. Uno que hablas, en inglés podéis usar, y japonés, por ejemplo. So I can speak Chinese. I can't speak Japanese. Ahí sí que el can't coge el sonido, y no es solo, como veáis, no es solo la T al final. Es que can no se pronuncia can, sino can. I can go. Hey, Alberto, can you come tomorrow? Yeah, I can go. Puedo ir. I can go. So you were all right. Great job. Depending on where it is in the sentence and how important it is in the sentence, can be pronounced. Escucha. Can be pronounced. Porque ahí el can no es importante. Pronounced es la palabra importante. Can es importante porque aquí es la palabra que quiero dar énfasis. Can be pronounced. Can be pronounced. Y otra vez, when can, here's the rule. When can is a throwaway word, que no es tan importante en la frase, then it's can. All right. Great job, my amigos. All right. We've got to move on. We've got many challenges up ahead. So buckle up for today's Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. All right, folks, for whom the bell tolls, time marches on. It's a great Metallica song, not just a novel by Hemingway, but it's also a Metallica song, For Whom the Bell Tolls. All right, amigos, good luck. As you know, our Spelling Bee is one of the most challenging sections here, especially round one, which is just lightning speed. All right, lightning speed, and good luck. These are long ones today. Okay, so I wish you luck, and if you don't get it on the first go, don't worry. You will have a second chance. All right, let's capitalize the first letter of every word, and here we go. The first one is VIRGIN space MARY. The next one is FATIMA, comma, space PORTUGAL. The third one is JUAN, space MARIA, space FERNANDEZ, space Y, space KROHN. The fourth one is POPE, space JOHN, space PAUL, space Roman numeral 2. The fifth one is BAYONET. And the last one is MADRID, comma, space SPAIN.
¿Qué tal vas de ánimo? ¿Necesitas un empujón, un poco de aliento No sweat. No te preocupes. Pásate por vaughantienda.com y hazte con nuestro nuevo material multimedia. 365 días de wellness e inglés. Y viene de la mano de tu propio personal trainer profesional, David Gómez Agudo, conocido por sus miles de seguidores en las redes como Fitbull Coach. Trabajarás fitness, mindset, nutrición y por supuesto el inglés. Y viene con más de 250 vídeos para que entrenes junto con tu coach. Es un win-win. Haz que este año sea tu año, con 365 días de wellness e inglés.
All right, amigos, that's right. It is wellness and English all in one material. And every day you've got a lesson, you've got exercises you can do both in English and physically with Fitbull Coach. Really nice guy. I was chatting with him a couple weeks ago, and man, gotta love it. When he told me the idea too, it was actually him and Jimena. I said, you guys are brilliant. That's why you guys make the big bucks. Por eso os forráis vosotros, because you're the brains of the operation, as we say. All right. So did anybody get these on round one? Let's see. German says, can you guess who's my next of kin in this room? I don't get it. You're next of kin. So if you die, the person who gets all your stuff, right? But I'm not understanding the context of it. Fabio, I say Fabio a la americana. Fabio says, can my kin play the piano? Can my kin? Y ahí es can my kin play the piano? I don't know. Can he? Can he play it? Can he? All right, good. Playing with the words. German also says, I was onto something. Sounds like I'm an investigator. Yep, the perfect word for that. You're onto something means you've discovered something there. It's worth taking a look at, right? So I think I couldn't have used a better phrasal verb, and especially if you didn't know it. So jot it down. To be onto something, it means you sigue por ahí. Here it says to discover something important or special. So you're on to something. You're going in the right direction there. It wasn't so much about the speed, but the why or where it's used in the sentence. All right. Let's see. Born to Iron Man is taking a stab at, excuse me, at our spelling bee, at round one of the spelling bee. Let's see how he did. Are you guys going to bet on him here? All right. Let's see. The first one is correct, sir. The second one is also correct. The third one's correct. The fourth one is also correct. The fifth one is correct. And ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable. The sixth one is also correct. Incredible. Born to Iron Man, knocking it out of the park. Jeez Louise. That was fast, man. He also says, you even have time to say Gesundheit. Jesus. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'm allergic to work. I don't know. It happens sometimes. Chris Valrol also taking a stab at it. Yes, and yeah. Wow. Give it up for your classmates. Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. They have figured out our spelling bee in round one, which is reserved only for superstars, which they prove day after day that they are. So great job. And now round two. Round two for the rest of us, me incluyo, because I would be in group two. Just telling you, doesn't matter what language you're spelling the letters in. I'm just not as fast. All right, here, even on my best day, all right? So, okay, here we go. The first word is VIRGIN space MARY. The second one, Fatima, comma, space, Portugal. The third one, Juan, space, Maria, space, Fernandez, space, Y, space, Krohn. The fourth one, Pope, space, John, space, Paul, space, Roman numeral 2. The next one is Bayonet. And the last one is Madrid, comma, space, Spain. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's as slow as I can go without babying you guys, right? Without spoon feeding you, como se dice en inglés, alimentarte con la cuchara. Toma, I don't want to do that either. That's not doing a justice to you. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't figured it out, these words all have something to do with each other. They are kin to each other, if you can see that. They are kin to each other, if you can see that. And it's because today, I don't remember this. Maybe you guys will remember it, especially if you keep up with the events of the current Pope, as you showed me in the last show you do. So you guys will probably, and because, well, it's a madrileño here. So in 1982, today, during a procession, a religious parade, a procession, outside the shrine. And what is a shrine? Como un altar, right? Like a shrine. A ver cómo lo traducen. Shrine. Santuario. Okay? Ermita. Sagrario. Okay? A sacred place. A shrine. So during a procession outside the shrine of the Virgin Mary, not Virgin, Virgin, right? La I primera es como una E. Virgin. The Virgin Mary in Fatima, Portugal, which, as we all know, one of the most famous places as far as apparitions are concerned. I mean, even I am not religious, and I know Fatima, Portugal is where people go to see miracles, right? Am I right there? And security guards there overpowered, o sea, le controlaron a él, a guy named Juan María Fernández y Cron. And he was trying to attack Pope John Paul II. Juan Pablo II, Pope John Paul II. And he tried to do that with a bayonet. Now, a bayonet, a ver cómo it's a French word. A bayonet, bayoneta. Ah, that's easy. A veces cuela así, bayonet. So the words today were, number one, Virgin Mary. María, la Virgen María, Virgin Mary. Number two was Fatima, Portugal. Number three was Juan María Fernández y Cron. That was the guy's name, Juan María Fernández y Cron. He was a traditionalist Catholic priest, a journalist, and lawyer who was born in Madrid. And his claim to fame was trying to attack Pope John Paul II. Again, I don't remember this, but I'm sure many of you do remember it. I mean, it's not too long ago, 1982, a couple decades ago. And he tried to attack Pope John Paul with a bayonet, but he was stopped. His plan was, te doy la palabra perfecta aquí, thwarted. Toma palabra. Es una palabra rara, THWARTED, frustrado, desbaratado, right? They thwarted his plan. Le pararon, le frenaron would be another way to say it as well. All right, so great job, everybody, in our spelling bee. That was not an easy one. I mean, look at those names. Juan María Fernández y Cron. That's his name. Es la más larga. Don't blame me. I don't. In the United States, we give people one last name. You get one. You don't get two last names. No tienes dos apellidos. So excellent job again to all of you. And I'll tell you what, before we hit our final commercial break, let's take a look at today's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It is double trouble, but it's not double. It's double trouble. So that means we have to use two sets of words. So there are two sets of words here. And you want to know something? If you were listening carefully before, when Paco, we heard Paco's question of the week, he used I think he used both of these idiomatic expressions. Ahora que lo pienso. De hecho, creo que ha usado ambas, porque ambas son expresiones aquí. Okay, are you ready? Esos ladrones son como carne y uña, y se quedarán juntos en las buenas y en las malas, duras y maduras, I think you also say. So, esos ladrones son como carne y uña, okay? Uña y mugre, carne y uña, culo y calzón. I never knew that. Pues se llevan bien, son buenos amigos, es lo que viene a decir esta expresión, ¿ok? So, esos ladrones son como carne y uña y se quedarán juntos en las buenas y en las malas. You have to use the same word twice. So not one word 4 times. That's a quadruple trouble. This is a double trouble. You have to repeat 2 words, and I can feel you guys sweating right now. But again, if you were listening to your buddy Paco, who loves those idiomatic expressions, then you will have heard, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I know one definitely, and something tells me the other one was in there as well. So, esos ladrones son como carne y uña, y se quedarán juntos, o se mantendrán juntos, en las buenas y en las malas. Amigos, we are heading off to our final commercial break. When we come back, we've got to listen to the Say What soundbite for the 4th time. Nobody's gotten it yet. Are you having trouble with that last word? Es una palabra súper específica, right? That last word. So we've got our Say What soundbite. We'll check our double trouble. We've got movies, music, jokes, and so much more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 4 of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. That's right, amigos. It is Vaughn Radio. And remember, when this show is over today, you've got tons of other amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio. And don't forget, you've got a trivia night coming up That is June 3rd, 2025 at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room. Trivia night hosted by yours truly, un servidor. Also, the book fair, May 31st. I will be there in the morning, May 31st, 2025. I'll be there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at stand 309. If you want to find out when all your favorite teachers are going to be there, go to our website or follow us on social media. GrupoVon.com. All right, folks, as always, we've got a lot of stuff to do here in the final part of today's show. So we're going to make every single second count. All right, let me give you the Say What soundbite for the fourth time. And this way we can get it out of the way. Here we go, folks.
You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz?
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Von Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Von Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Von Town. More information about Von Town, Weekend Town, Masters, summer camps, whatever you might be looking for, follow us on social media. And if you don't see it there, you can always ask and we can give you all the information you need. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of people participating in today's Double Trouble. Great news. Let's see. Born to Iron Man is the first one to take a stab at it. And he says, those thieves. Muy bien con el those. Bueno, no sabes la cantidad de gente que pone these para aquellos. I'm like, pues wrong. Aunque el resto está correcto, aquellos no son these, right? So I was looking for that today because a lot of times aquellos son, y la gente pone those or these. That's page 1 in the student manual, guys. Entonces hay que saber el this, that, these, those desde el primer momento, right? Lo demás ya tiene que ser correcto. But if aquello es esto, no es igual. You're going to confuse the person you're speaking to, right? Son tuyos estos y señalas ahí. Think about it. Wait, what? You'll blow somebody's brain off of their shoulders. Yeah. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man says, those thieves, right? Thief, thieves, right? En plural es como knife. Knife, knives, right? Life, lives. So those thieves are thick as thieves. That's right, thick as thieves. Paco said it before. He said they've been as thick as thieves for years. Y mira, empleamos el as ahí también. Right? Lo usamos también. He's as drunk as a skunk. He's as thick, or they are as thick as thieves, right? So ese, otra vez jugando con este as que vimos hoy en el pop quiz. So those thieves are thick as thieves or as thick as. Ahí te puedes comer el primer as porque lo hacemos muchas veces, pero que sepas, debería estar ahí, pero lo sacamos muchas veces. So those thieves are as thick as thieves, and they'll stick together through thick and thin. Born to Iron Man. What can I say? Wow. Those thieves, esos ladrones, are as thick as thieves. Se llevan genial. And they'll stick together. Se mantendrán juntos through thick and thin. Excellent job. Germán, those thieves are thick as thieves, and they'll stick together through thick and thin, as long as they don't spread themselves too thin. I like it. Siempre que no abarcan demasiado para meter otro. Well, Germán, I didn't want to complicate it that much, but I like it. I like it. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, I'm seeing good morning, folks. Wait, ¿qué ha pasado aquí con el? Good morning, folks. Espera, we're going back here. Okay, no, I thought I saw some comments. So, Born to Iron Man and Germán, give it up for your classmates. They got today's double trouble. Yeah. All right, folks, now it's time to go to the movies.
Name that movie.
That's right. Yeah, and again, I think Paco said in his audio, we can check it. He definitely said thick as thieves. What I don't know, and I think he said, was also thick and thin. Bueno, para aprenderlo junto, through thick and thin, right? To be together through thick and thin. So, as I always say, my favorite double trouble here on the show, it pays to pay attention. Vale la pena prestar atención. All right, here we go with today's Name That Movie. We'll see if you guys can figure it out. This is a classic. All right, in World War I, toma trabalenguas. In World War I, East Africa, a gin-swilling Canadian riverboat captain is persuaded by a straight-laced English missionary to undertake a trip up a treacherous river and use his boat to attack a German gunship. Very specific. You either know it or you don't. Let's go through it. In World War I, or the First World War, East Africa, a gin swilling. Now, a gin swilling is a gin drinking. Okay. Swill is beber a tragos. Okay. So a gin swilling, no se usa tanto esa palabra. Gin is ginebra. So he's drunk. He's drinking gin all day. He's guzzling gin, swilling gin. So a gin swilling Canadian, no Canadian, Canadian riverboat captain, okay, is persuaded, no, le convence, by a straight-laced English missionary. Okay, now straight-laced is traditional, proper, conservative, right? Very, do that. Very, very proper, very prim and proper, as we say. Okay, and she persuades him to undertake is empezar, a trip up a treacherous is dangerous, a treacherous river, and use his boat to attack a German gunship. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've got a winner over here. It is Chris Valrol, our movie queen. The only thing, Chris, we don't call it the Queen of Africa, although we call it African Queen. That's right, African Queen. And this is a movie. I remember watching this movie at my grandmother's, and she said, you have to watch this movie. It's a classic. And I remember thinking, yeah, but it's an old movie. She said, it's a classic. You're going to love it. And she was right. I loved it. My grandma had good taste. And it came out in 1951. Just to give you an idea, it came out the year my mom was born. That's over 70 years ago. And it still holds up. El contexto me entiendes perfectamente. Sigue siendo, right? It still holds up. Sigue dando la talla. Sigue, right? And even on IMDb, where I get the movies from, 7.7 out of 10. Many years later, I mean, decades later, half a century, more than half a century later, and it still has a rating of 7.7. Of course, it was Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. So we're talking about two of the biggest icons in Hollywood ever. The icons of the icons. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the scene from The African Queen, which is just an amazing movie. And Charlie says, fine specimen of a man, ain't I? No, mira qué espécimen de hombre que soy, no? Mírame qué machote que soy, he's saying to her. And Rose says, you're the bravest man that ever lived. Right? El más valiente. You're the bravest man that ever lived. You just overdo, that's all. You just overdo. Te pasas de listo un poco. You overdo it. Right? Hacerlo demasiado. You just overdo, that's all. Y es irregular. You overdid it, man, en pasado. So do, did, done, no? It's been overdone. Ya lo han hecho demasiado. Se han pasado. So you just overdo, that's all. What you need is a few hours sleep. Necesitas un poco de descanso, okay? A few hours sleep. There, now you're all comfortable. There, ahí es, en vez de ahí es bien. There, now you're all comfortable. Bien, ahora estás cómodo, ¿no? Go to sleep, dear. Vete a dormir, cariño. When you wake up, we'll be on our way again. Cuando te despiertas, seguiremos de camino de nuevo. And then Charlie says, Rosie? And Rose says, yes, darling. And Charlie says, you want to know the truth, don't you? Even if we had all our strength, we'd never get her off this mud. Nunca la vamos a sacar de este barro. Hablando del barco. We're finished. Acabados estamos. And Rose says, I know it. Lo sé. And Charlie says, but Rosie, I'm not one bit sorry I came. No me arrepiento de ni un poquitín por haber venido. I'm not one bit sorry I came. What I mean is, lo que vengo a decir es, it was worth it. Valió la pena. So there you go, folks. African Queen. What an awesome movie. Classic actors. And still stands the test of time. All right, amigos, time to move on to You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. You're joking. Let's take a look at these jokes and see if you get them. Why did the art thief's van run out of gas as he drove away from the museum? Okay, vamos por partes. Okay. Why did the art thief, el chorizo, el ladrón de arte, run out of gas? Why did his van, su furgoneta, run out of gas as he drove away from the museum? Because he had no money to buy Degas to make the van go. He had no Monet, Claude Monet, the artist, to make, to buy Degas, the sculptor. Edgar, is it Edgar Degas? Is that his name? The one who did The Dancer. To make the Van Gogh. Van Gogh. So you got 3 artists' names in that one. All right. So why did the art thief's van run out of gas as he drove away from the museum? Because he had no money to buy the gas to make the van go. All right. Not too funny. All right, let me give you another one. Well, that's a triple pun, by the way. A triple pun over there. All right. A thief broke into my house and stole my prized thesaurus. Okay? A thief broke into my house. To break in es entrar, right? En mi casa. Pero no invitado, evidentemente. So he broke into my house and he took my prized possession. And my prized possession is my most valued possession, right? My prized, premiado, estimado, preciado, I think you would say there, right? So yeah, it's a shame. It was my thesaurus, my prized thesaurus. And now I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. No tengo las palabras. Me ha quitado el tesauros. Me he quedado sin palabras. Bueno, la expresión, si no lo sabías, es I'm at a loss. To be at a loss, not lost. Loss. L-O-S-S. I'm at a loss for words. O sea, me he quedado atónito. No tengo palabras. So you get it? A thesaurus is where you look up synonyms of words. Right now, I'm at a loss for words. Okay. All right. Last one, folks. Last one. Let's see if you get it. What did the cop say to the dancing thief? What did the cop say to the dancing thief? The jig is up. No. The jig, you know the Irish jig? It's a famous dance done in Ireland. The jig. Well, also we have an expression that says, the jig is up, se acabó el juego. Es cuando el investigador pilla al malo. Hey, Johnson, the jig is up. I got you now. Okay, se acabó el juego, viene a decir. Pero usamos la palabra jig, que es el baile tradicional irlandés. So you get it now? What did the cop say to the dancing thief? The jig is up. All right, well, even if you didn't laugh with my jokes, I'm sure you learned some totally native idiomatic expressions. Folks, it is now time for famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Birthdays for me. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Birthdays for her. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
All right, amigos, a nice round of applause for Chris Valrol taking a stab at today's Say What soundbite. That last word is the doozy. Ahí esa palabra, pero lo vamos a ver. We're going to check it out momentarily. Number one, our birthday boy was born today in 1928. I discovered him in Austin Powers. He was playing piano, as he did. He died in 2023. But one of the greatest songwriters ever, even though it was a little bit before my time. I've got to say his songs are beautiful. Some of them he sings, some of them he wrote for other artists. So, for example, raindrops keep falling on my head, drops keep falling on my head. Na, 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 na. Also, why do birds suddenly appear? Okay, it was sung by the Carpenters, but he wrote this song. And he's got 6 Grammy Awards, 3 Academy Awards, and 1 Emmy Award. And as I said, I discovered him from Austin Powers. All right. And not last but not least, the second birthday girl was born today in 1907. One of the greatest Hollywood leading ladies ever. And you might know her from The African Queen and many others. I already said her name. I said it moments ago. And last but not least, this actor, comedian, author was born today in 1937. He was more than just a comedian. He was a guy who had a message, and he was way ahead of his time. And if you've never seen his comedy sketches, you're missing out, especially the ones where he talks about how the English language makes no sense. I think you guys would identify with that one. And he's been in many, many movies as well. And let's see. It looks like we've got a winner. Give it up for Chris Valrol. Number 1, Burt Bacharach. I never fall in love. They're love songs, like this kind of jazzy piano music. Burt Bacharach. Number 2, Katharine Hepburn. And number 3, the one and only, my favorite, George Carlin. George fucking Carlin. Es que también he had a dirty mouth, but the guy was a wordsmith, un maestro de la palabra, and he made it funny. And here he's talking about these things we all have in common, and that's one thing. He goes, when we're caught talking to ourselves, cuando nos pillan hablando con nosotros mismos, y tenemos que cambiarlo en una canción para que no crean que somos locos, okay? So he goes, have you ever been talking to yourself, but from the Bronx, by the way, have you ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe, fingir, pretend you were singing, and you hope to God, esperas con toda tu ilusión, that the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz. ¿Qué se cree que soy? ¿Algún tipo de imbécil? And the word putz, P-U-T-Z, Z, not C, P-U-T-Z, is an idiot. Tarado, it says here. Tarado, imbécil, idiota. So what does she think I am? Some kind of putz? And he turns that into a song, and obviously no one's going to believe that that's the real name of a song. So that mystery word there was the word putz. Again, I highly recommend you guys check out George Carlin, even if you just go to YouTube and check out his greatest hits. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, George Carlin.
You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called What Does She Think I Am? Some kind of putz?
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name the lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name the lyric only on the show with no name.
All right, everybody. Wonderful job today. Great job, as you do every day here on the show with no name. I thank you for your energy. I thank you for choosing to learn English with me and laughing and playing every day. And stay tuned for Jimena Holiday. You're in for a treat with her on Test Your English. Today, we're going to look at The Look of Love by Burt Bacharach. That's right, birthday boy Burt Bacharach. The song is called The Look of Love. And the first line is, I can hardly wait. Wait, did I say can or kin? I can hardly wait to hold you. No puedo esperar. Apenas puedo esperar a abrazarte. I can. Can es importante en esa frase? No, it's to hold you, right? I can hardly wait to hold you. O sea, hardly wait and hold you son lo que sobresalen en esa. All right? To feel my arms around you. How long I have waited just to love you. What a beautiful song. Burt Bacharach. The soothing sounds. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure as always. And we'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise. Ciao for now.
Yes, yes. Ah.